show you how to do the chili almonds because they're a little bit tricky, but once you've done them, it's absolutely fine. It's all about getting the sugar to completely dissolve and be completely prepared before you start. So I've got my pan, and I like to use a heavy base pan, but my high-sided one is my favorite for this because it's easy for tossing things. I've got my nuts, I've got my sugar, and then I've got my spices. And I've already got my baking paper on the bench for when it's all ready just to spread out. So now we're going to move over and put some oil in the pan and get started. Okay, so I've heated the oil in the bottom of the pan, and now I add the nuts. I've used peanut oil, but if you haven't got it in your cupboard, feel free to use some flavourless kind of canola oil or vegetable oil. Don't use olive oil because it's too strong a flavour. So we spread the nuts out, and then we sprinkle the larger measure of sugar over the top. And what we're doing now is just being patient and tossing the sugar and the nuts together. As the heat comes through the sugar, it'll start to caramelize, and that's what we want, for it to completely dissolve. But you really need to keep it moving because the nuts will burn if you don't. As the sugar's melting, the nuts are browning. So it's quite a slow process, but just be patient. So you can see the importance of keeping it stirring because those nuts are just starting to colour, and we don't want them to burn, we just want them to be lovely dark golden brown. So this is really a lesson in patience, but we need to just keep it moving. We've been cooking these nuts now for like 5 or 6 minutes, and we've still got a wee way to go. We want all the sugar to melt, and you can see like on here there's a little clumps of sugar on the nuts that we want to make sure are completely dissolved. There's kind of a fine line between letting the sugar caramelize and keeping it moving, because it's tempting just to let the sugar sit there for a bit, but it will mean that the almonds will burn. So we're kind of getting close now, but there's a big lump of sugar there. We're nearly there. I'm just making sure now that there's no clumps of sugar through there. There's just a couple of bits, so we'll just keep it moving. There's a good build-up of heat in there now, so okay. I think we're done. We'll turn that off. Take it off the heat. And now I'm going to add my other spices. Toss them through. And then I'll move over to my baking paper that's waiting for me to spread this into. If we spread them out a little, it just makes it easier for breaking them up, rather than just leaving them in a big clump. So there we have it. Once they've set, which doesn't take too long, depending on how cold your bench is often, just break them into chunks. Voila, and these keep for ages if they're in an airtight container or into cellophane bags. They're the perfect hostess gift.